Welcome, dear students. Today, we shall be discussing the status and scope of textile industry. The word textile comes from the Latin adjective textilis, meaning woven, which itself stems from textus, the past participle of the verb texere, which means to weave. Initially, the term textiles exclusively denoted woven fabrics. However, weaving is not the only manufacturing method. Many other methods have been developed over the years. Knitting and non-woven are other popular types of fabric manufacturing. Fiber is the smallest component of a fabric. Fibers are typically spun into yarn, and yarns are manufactured into fabrics. Fiber has a hair-like appearance and a higher length to width ratio. The sources of fibers may be natural, synthetic, or both. The techniques of felting and bonding directly transform fibers into fabric. In other cases, yarns are manipulated with different fabric manufacturing systems to produce various fabric constructions. The fibers are twisted or laid out to make a long, continuous strand of yarn. Yarns are then used to make different kinds of fabric by weaving, knitting, crocheting, knotting, tatting, or braiding. After manufacturing, textile materials are processed and finished to add value, such as aesthetics, physical characteristics, and increased usefulness. Dyeing, printing, and embroidery are all different decorative arts applied to textile materials. The manufacturing of textiles is the oldest industrial art. The Indian textile industry, with a rich and diverse heritage, stands as one of the oldest and most vibrant sectors in the country. This industry has woven itself into the cultural and economic fabric of India, playing a pivotal role in shaping the nation's identity and contributing significantly to its economic growth. With roots dating back centuries, the textile industry in India has evolved from traditional handloom practices to a modern, technologically advanced sector. Comprising a multitude of segments including cotton, silk, wool, jute, and synthetic fibers, the Indian textile industry is a multifaceted landscape that caters to both domestic and global markets. Its historical significance is underscored by its enduring presence, adapting to changing times and technologies, while preserving the artisanal skills passed down through generations. Notably, the Indian textile industry holds a formidable position in the nation's economic landscape, contributing around 14% to manufacturing value addition. It is a key driver of India's industrial growth. Additionally, the industry plays a crucial role in the country's export earnings, accounting for approximately one-third of the total. This export prowess underscores India's standing as a major player in the global textile market. Beyond its economic impact, the Indian textile industry is a vast source of employment, providing livelihoods to millions of people across various regions. From the bustling textile hubs in states like Gujarat and Maharashtra to the traditional handloom clusters in Uttar Pradesh and West Bengal, the industry's influence extends far and wide, fostering socio-economic development. Students, let's now discuss the different types of textiles. Textiles are mostly divided into two categories: consumer textiles and technical textiles. In consumer textiles, aesthetics and comfort are the most important factors, while in technical textiles, functional properties are the priority. Let's discuss them one by one. Consumer textiles refer to a broad category of textile products designed for personal use by individuals. These textiles are intended for daily living and include a wide range of items that people use in their homes, wardrobes, and for various personal needs. In consumer textiles, aesthetics and comfort are the most important factors. Examples of consumer textiles include apparel such as shirts, pants, dresses, jackets, and undergarments. Then we have home textiles, which include bedding items like sheets, pillowcases, and duvet covers, towels for bathing and hand drying, tablecloths, napkins, and placemats for dining, curtains and drapes for windows. Accessories like scarves, hats, gloves, etc. are also included in consumer textiles. Besides, sports and activewear also fall in this category. On the other hand, technical textiles, also known as engineered or industrial textiles, represent a specialized category of textiles designed for non-consumer applications. These textiles are engineered for specific functionalities and performance characteristics beyond the traditional use of clothing and home furnishings. Technical textiles are characterized by their specialized properties, including strength, durability, resistance to extreme conditions, and specific functionalities tailored to industrial or technical applications. The development of technical textiles involves advanced manufacturing processes and often incorporates innovative materials and technologies. Technical textiles find application in various industries due to their advanced properties. Some key categories and examples of technical textiles include agrotextiles. These are used in agriculture for crop protection, weed control, and greenhouse shading. Next, the medical textiles. These include products like surgical gowns, bandages, and wound dressings with specialized properties such as antimicrobial features. Geotextiles. These are used in civil engineering for soil stabilization, erosion control, and drainage. Examples include geogrids and geocomposites. Next, we have protective textiles. These are designed for personal protection, including flame-resistant clothing, bulletproof vests, and chemical-resistant suits. Automotive textiles. These are used in the automotive industry for seat belts, airbags, tire cord, and interior components with properties like durability and heat resistance. Another category is the construction textiles, which include materials for reinforcement in concrete, roofing, membranes, and scaffolding nets. Filter textiles. These textiles are used in air and liquid filtration systems such as heating, ventilation, and air conditioning filters or HVAC filters, water filtration, and industrial dust filters. Let's talk about another category of technical textiles, the sports and recreational textiles. Examples of this class include sports equipment like sails, parachutes, and sports apparel with moisture-wicking and breathable properties. Next, we have the composites. These textiles are combined into composite materials to create lightweight and high-strength components used in aerospace, automotive, and construction applications. Moving on to packaging textiles. These are used in packaging materials such as flexible intermediate bulk containers or FIBCs and protective packaging. Next, we have the smart textiles. These incorporate electronic components and technologies for functionalities like temperature regulation, monitoring and communication. Examples include wearable technology and smart fabric. Industrial belting textiles. These are used in conveyor belts and other industrial belting applications for their strength and durability. Last on the list are the environmental textiles. These include products for environmental protection, such as oil spill cleanup materials and pollution control devices. Students, let's take a moment to briefly discuss the segmentation of the Indian textile industry. The Indian textile industry can be divided into two broad segments, each with its unique characteristics, the unorganized sector and the organized sector. The unorganized sector primarily consists of small-scale enterprises that employ traditional tools and methods. It includes handloom weaving, handicrafts, and sericulture. In contrast, the organized sector employs modern machinery and techniques. It involves the spinning, apparel, and garment segment, which is more mechanized and industrialized. Our next point of focus are the factors favoring the growth of Indian textile industry. First, let's talk about raw material base. India has high self-sufficiency for raw material, particularly the natural fibers. India's cotton crop is the third largest in the world. Indian textile industry produces and handles all types of fibers. Next is the labor. Cheap labor and strong entrepreneurial skills have always been the backbone of the Indian textile industry. Flexibility. The small size of manufacturing, which is predominant in the apparel industry, allows for greater flexibility to service smaller and specialized orders. Rich heritage. The cultural diversity and rich heritage of the country offers good inspiration base for designers. Finally, let's not overlook the domestic market. Factors like rising income levels, increasing urbanization, and expansion of the consumer base drive the domestic demand. Students, let's now delve into the current status of the textile industry. India is the fifth largest producer of technical textiles in the world, with a market size of nearly $22 billion, which is expected to grow up to $300 billion by 2047. The textiles and apparel industry in India has strengths across the entire value chain from fiber, yarn, fabric to apparel. The Indian textile and apparel industry is highly diversified, with a wide range of segments ranging from products of traditional handloom, handicrafts, wool and silk products to the organized textile industry in India. The organized textile industry in India is characterized by the use of capital-intensive technology for the mass production of textile products and includes spinning, weaving, processing, and apparel manufacturing. Cotton plays a major role in sustaining the livelihood of an estimated 6 million cotton farmers and 40 to 50 million people engaged in related activities, such as cotton processing and trade. India's trade of technical textile products has been growing strongly and the country has been a net exporter. India's exports of technical textile products grew from $2.21 billion in 2020 to 21 to $2.85 billion in 2021 to 22, registering a growth rate of 28.4%. Let's discuss a few points that underscore the expansion and growth of the Indian textile industry during the period 2021 to 2022. India's textiles exports were highest ever in financial year 2021-22, crossing $44 billion, indicating a substantial increase of 41% and 26% over corresponding figures in FY 2020 to 21 and FY 2019 to 20 respectively. India is the largest cotton producer, about 23% in the world, and has the highest area under cotton cultivation, that is around 39% of the world area. India produced 90 lakh bales of raw jute in financial year 2021 to 22. The Indian textile and apparel market size was estimated around $165 billion in 2022, with domestic market constituting $125 billion and exports contributing $40 billion. The market size of the industry is projected to grow at a 10% compound annual growth rate or CAGR to reach $350 billion by 2030. Students, let's discuss the importance of textile industry. Textile industry has made a major contribution to the national economy in terms of direct and indirect employment generation and net foreign exchange earnings. The sector contributes about 14% to industrial production, 4% to the gross domestic product or GDP, and 27% to the country's foreign exchange inflows. It provides direct employment to over 45 million people. The textile sector is the second largest provider of employment after agriculture. Growth and all-round development of this industry has a direct bearing on the improvement of India's economy. It is now time to discuss the scope of textile industry. The textile industry is a vast and dynamic sector that plays a crucial role in the global economy. The scope of textile industry includes a wide range of activities, from the production of raw materials to the manufacturing of finished products. Key aspects of the scope of the textile industry include raw material production. The scope extends to the cultivation or extraction of raw materials, including natural fibers like cotton, wool, and silk, as well as synthetic fibers. Next, the fiber processing. Processing raw fibers into yarns is a fundamental aspect of the industry, enabling the creation of various textiles. Yarn can be produced through various spinning techniques such as ring spinning, open-end spinning, and others. Up next is the fabric manufacturing. Yarns are woven or knitted to create fabrics. This step involves a variety of processes like weaving, knitting, and non-woven techniques. After that, we have dyeing and finishing. Fabrics are often dyed or printed to achieve desired colors and patterns. Finishing processes such as chemical treatments and mechanical processes are applied to enhance the fabric's properties. Finally, we have the apparel and garment production. The textile industry extensively contributes to the fashion and apparel sector. This includes the manufacturing of clothing, accessories, and other fashion items. The scope of the textile industry is vast and evolving, influenced by economic, technological, and societal changes. As consumer preferences and global trends continue to shift, the industry adapts to meet new demands and challenges. Speaking of challenges, the textile industry faces several hurdles. Let's discuss them. First, shortage in supply of raw materials. Because of pollution issues, some units of China and Europe have been shut down, due to which there is a rise in the prices of basic raw material. And there are many other factors like weather, etc., which are influencing the raw material supply. Another important challenge to address is the increase in cost of raw materials. Unpredictable market conditions, weather, government policies, etc., have resulted in an increase in raw material costs. Moving on to infrastructure bottlenecks. The low quality of India's infrastructure continues to lag behind as compared to other Asian countries. This presents a problem to the textile industry. Up next is the lower efficiency. With increasing global competition, one of the main factors affecting the growth of garment industry in India is the lower productivity level. India's apparel factory productivity levels are relatively low compared to countries like Turkey, China, and Bangladesh. Next, the Goods and Services Tax or GST. The tax structure has created distortions in the textile and apparel sector in India, impeding its competitiveness. The man-made fiber yarn is now taxed at 18%, while the fabric is taxed at 5%. The small businesses which buy yarn and produce fabric are directly impacted by this imbalance, affecting their sustainability. Apart from the policy limitations, system errors, delay in reimbursement of input credit, the limited knowledge of GST has hugely impacted the sector in the country. Although, in the long term, GST is set to affect the apparel and textile sector of India positively, the short-term impact has temporarily affected various small-scale businesses. Now we will talk about another challenge, the factor costs. The labour cost in India is higher than that of Bangladesh and marginally lower than that of China and Vietnam. China, however, compensated for this disadvantage through its training infrastructure. Although the Integrated Skill Development Scheme, or ISDS, of the government is focused on growing the pool of skilled labour in the country, the growing labour costs are stealing away India's competitive advantage in the apparel industry. Next, we have Limited Free Trade Agreements, or FTAs. Bangladesh, Cambodia, Pakistan, Turkey, etc. enjoy duty-free access to all major textile markets of the US and the European Union. India still lacks FTA advantages to major markets, making Indian produce much more expensive compared to that of its competitors. Indian government's current foreign policy is expected to bring in more trade agreements and trading partners for the country. But its direct impact on apparel trade will be seen only after the test of time. Lack of fiber neutrality. Man-made textiles in apparel industry have a substantially big demand worldwide. Despite being the second largest textile exporter in the world, India lags far behind in this category due to limited availability of man-made fibers at competitive prices. The textile value chain in the country also bears a differential tax treatment. India's competitors like China, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Thailand, and Indonesia follow fiber-neutral policy and are hence much more aligned to the global apparel consumption patterns. Now we have the high costs of capital. Compared to its competitors, India has one of the highest costs of capital, which directly affects India's cost of production and hence the country's competitiveness in the global market. The current lending rate in India is between 11 to 12.5%, while China, Vietnam, and Turkey offer capital at a rate of 5 to 7% only. To add to this equation, the high power costs further complicate the situation. Next, we have buyer-driven commodity chains. Industries with large retailers, big brand marketers, and trading companies develop decentralized production networks, mostly located in developing countries like India. So the main leverage here lies with the retailers and the brand merchandisers at the marketing or retail end of the supply chain. Indian apparel industry is dominated by manufacturers who act as package suppliers for the foreign buyers. This lowers the bargaining power that Indian apparel sector has on global cues in the industry, thus preventing its growth. Next, export growth performance. Textile and apparel sector has a declining status in developed economies. This poses a huge opportunity for India's apparel industry to grow, but the slowdown in the import growth of the country's major apparel markets like the United States and the European Union is slowing down India's export growth. The Government of India has come up with certain initiatives to boost the Indian textile industry. In order to modernize the textile industry's technology, the government approved the Amended Technology Upgradation Fund Scheme, or ATUFS, in 2015. Next is the Scheme for Integrated Textile Parks, SITP. It aims to help small and medium-sized textile business owners cluster investments in textile parks by providing financial support for the park's top-notch infrastructure. Another initiative is the Samarth Scheme, or Scheme for Capacity Building in the Textile Sector. The government started the Samarth Scheme for Capacity Building in Textile Sector to alleviate the scarcity of trained people. Next is the Northeast Region Textile Promotion Scheme, NERTPS. It is a program that supports all areas of textile industry with infrastructure, capacity building, and marketing assistance. PowerTex India. It includes innovative power loom textile research and development, new markets, branding, subsidies, and worker welfare programs. Next is the Silk Samagra Scheme, which seeks to lessen the nation's reliance on imported silk by enhancing the quality and productivity of domestically produced silk. Next is Jute Eye Care, or improved cultivation and advanced retting exercise. This pilot initiative, which was started in 2015, aims to help jute growers overcome their challenges by offering certified seeds at discounted prices and by popularizing many recently developed retting technologies under water restrictive conditions. The National Technical Textile Mission. It seeks to enhance domestic technical textile consumption while establishing the nation as a global leader in the field. By 2024, it hopes to increase the size of the domestic market to between 40 to 50 billion US dollars. Next is the PM Mega Integrated Textile Region and Apparel, or PM MITRA, PARCS. It aims to integrate the entire textile value chain from spinning, weaving, processing, dyeing, printing to garment manufacturing at one location. Students, as we set our sights on the future of the textile industry, it is imperative to consider the key strategies that will propel us towards the global competitiveness. To ensure our industry stands tall on the global stage, our first point of focus is technology upgradation and expansion of weaving capacity. But achieving this requires crucial support from both the central and the state governments. The state government's role is vital, including swift approvals and provisions for common effluent treatment plants, facilitating rapid business scaling. Additionally, the Indian textile industry needs to adapt by training its workforce to meet modern market demands. Creating capital subsidies offering one-window solutions and fixing yearly yarn prices contribute to a smoother workflow and benefit the farmers. Active involvement from textile associations and experts and venturing into emerging sectors like meditech are avenues for future growth. Recognizing the impact of logistics, simplifying processes, and standardizing customs contribute significantly to strengthening India's position in the global apparel trade. In conclusion, the industry's future hinges on addressing the challenges at hand, fostering innovation, and adapting to changing consumer trends. In a sense, the textile industry remains a dynamic force, weaving together tradition, innovation, and global connectivity. Students, that was all for today. I hope you found this lecture informative and engaging. Thank you.